All right, so we're just got done watching Bird Box.
Yeah.
You remember Claire? I remember Claire. And yeah, I wasn't expecting to do this considering what's going to be happening later on today. But yeah, everyone and their mother's been talking about Bird Box. I don't know why I know everyone's mother, but there you have it. Facebook is a strange thing.
You know
Uh,
my mom.
I do. I do know.
I know your mom.
Oh, you see, there's something going on there. A conspiracy, a mother conspiracy. And speaking of mothers, Bird Box. What did you think of it?
I, I didn't know what the thing was.
The the
The bad guy.
yeah.
I still don't
There
know.
will be spoilers in this, by the way, but obviously, um, yeah, I thought it was a good idea that didn't really pan out.
Hmm.
If you don't know what Bird Box is, where the fuck have you been? Have you not seen memes? Do you not know what memes are? Bird Box is this Netflix movie with Sandra Bullock and tons of other people, including his name is Malkovich, John Malkovich, um, and he's basically there's this spirit. I'm guessing it was a demon or a spirit or an
The smoke
alien
monster from Lost.
without the smoke.
Yeah.
It basically, if you see it, it will like if you look at it, which you never get to see it. I don't think it even has a physical form. I think that's what they imply. It basically,
What was it supposed to be?
I don't think you're meant to know, but I think that's a bit of a jip. I think it's a bit of a rip off. It's just this evil force that if you look at it, it turns your eyes a different color, and you kill yourself. However, kind of like in The Happening, when all the trees killed us. What? No. Oh, Marky Mark. But yeah, you don't get to see it. You get to see like leaves and shadows moving around, but you never actually get to see it if you can't see it. And that's most people, but crazy people stay alive and they kind of become like a cult dedicated to it, where they go around looking for non-infected people and force them to see. Do you see? Do you see? We were kind of joking that would be our job in the future, wouldn't it? If in this reality, we'd end up being kind of like the crazies.
Yeah, I'd be on that side.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem to be just if you're like psychotic. It's also that something's inherently wrong with you to a degree, like mental disability. It will turn you into one of the crazies, one of the psychos. Um, and it reminds me a lot of the comic Crossed. If you've ever seen Crossed, this shit is fucking insane. But it's very similar to that, where crazy people seem to be immune to it to a degree and keep their functions. But yeah, it was the film itself. It was a lot of nothing. There was a lot of nothing going on. It was 2 hours long, and I think at the very least 20 minutes of that could have been cut. Would you say?
I didn't know like what was what was happening.
Yeah, it wasn't really well explained at times. It was just because the way it's structured, it starts off in the future, in the present, in her timeline. Sandra Bullock's character, who has these two kids that she calls girl and boy. So I couldn't take it seriously because every time I heard boy, all I thought was Kratos from God of War 3. Boy! Boy! She even just calls him at one point and I was just going, boy, boy. But it has that and then it cuts to about 5 years prior. Ugh. All this shouting of boy is making me want to drink some low quality beer.
Well, I brought in more.
Oh,
I
nice.
think.
We're not going to be partying too hardy before the 24th
Dilute
stream,
it.
but we are going
Might have
to
lost
we're going to be doing more. Yeah, like it's set in the 5 years prior, and then it cuts to present, and it cuts in between. It keeps cutting, and it's all janky, and you have to kind of take it at faith at first of what's going on, and then you just you start learning about it, but I don't know. I didn't get really invested in the characters. There wasn't anyone I was like, Ooh, I suppose the kids. You don't want to see anything bad happen to the kids, but and for the record, they weren't too bad as far as actors go. They weren't too bad.
Sandra Bullock is awesome.
Yeah, she was rock hard. She was just there's a scene with a shotgun where she snatches it from someone and just
Oh, there
pumps
they
out the
are.
shells.
You are hiding them all along.
Well, I do tend to hide alcohol. I'm like a squirrel and with nuts. Nuts in the winter. But yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it was a lot of the other actors and actresses. I didn't really feel for them. There was the love interest, Tom. He was kind of just a nice, good guy. Malkovich's character was just Malkovich. He's always just playing the same role, an asshole. He's just playing an asshole, which is probably just playing itself. And there was the Asian guy from Crazy Rich Asians, the main title character from that. There was a woman from another Netflix show. There's a few people who pop up here and there. But you know what? It wasn't Skull. It wasn't Skull. It wasn't Skull. It wasn't too bad. I had a look and the IMDb is giving it like a 60 or something. I think that's fair. Yeah. A little better than normal, but it still kind of falls short.
Yeah, you didn't really like it.
Yeah. A great idea that doesn't really work out, but you still ended up what? There was one
I
scene.
liked Sandra Bullock though. I thought
Yeah.
she was good in it. And I thought the kids were good in it.
Yeah, as far as child acting go, it wasn't too bad, but they didn't really need to act much, did they? They didn't say much throughout the whole film. They're very young. I'd say about what, 5, maybe 6, something that age, and they just a lot of times they're just staring and looking very sad. But I don't know. There was a lot of little moments that kept on watching, and plus to see if it pans out. But I'm telling you now, if you're looking for like what the creatures are, you never know. You're never told this. But it still pans out. It reminds me a lot of Crossed, The Road, The Happening, films like that. So if you like them, I really recommend you watch that. But one thing I don't recommend you doing is doing the Bird Box challenge. Because I actually saw yesterday the kid in the UK with the blindfold in the car. Well done, mate. Fantastic. Fucking hell. But
do that.
yeah, don't. They even released on Twitter saying we're so happy with the love that you guys are giving, but don't do the Bird Box challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, they explained that the birds that they keep are like canaries in mines to detect gas. They detect the monsters coming, but they don't seem to be necessary. Do you notice that? Because whenever the monsters come around, they always start whispering in your ear anyway.
Yeah.
So the birds, you know they're going to come anyway. They're never really useful for anything. Plus, they bring them along in a forest. I'm pretty sure the forest has some birds, as it is. So if they need some sort of early warning system, just look. Well, they can't look up because they're walking around with blindfolds. But no, I'd recommend watching it once, and then it's one of those films that you're just gonna don't care about the rest of it, would you? But yeah, that was I'm glad I got through it. It was just a thing. It was just something that was on my mind for a while now. Right up there with Bandersnatch, which I'll get around to at some point. Obviously, this week is kind of a big deal. Speaking of, as you may notice, the countdowner is currently on, so we will be seeing you around about midnight tonight. I will anyway. You don't have to. You can
I'll
come
be
and
in
go.
the background.
Yeah, yeah. She'll be keeping herself distracted, throwing things at me probably. Just like a good friend
Having your
should.
tea,
Tea will be useful, very useful.
snacks.
Snacks. We're well supplied for until we're heading out tomorrow morning. But anyway, yeah, that's Bird Box. Watch it and forget about it. Watch it to shut people up saying, "Have you seen Bird Box?" Yeah, I did. That's it. So yeah, we'll be back this evening. So take care until then. Bye.